How many times have you promised yourself you'd stop? How many times have you deleted your history, cleared your cache, and sworn to Allah that this was the last time? How many times have you woken up the next morning feeling that same heavy guilt, knowing you'll probably do it again tonight? You're not the only Muslim fighting this battle. Right now, millions of Muslims are stuck in the same trap, feeling the same shame, living the same double life, praying on the outside, dying on the inside. You think you're uniquely broken. You're not. You're just trapped in a progression that starts innocent and ends in complete slavery. Today, I'm showing you the 7 levels of how Muslims fall into lust, from one innocent look on Instagram to complete addiction that destroys everything. You'll see exactly which level you're at, how you got there, and why you can't seem to escape. This isn't going to be comfortable, but you need to see this. Hit subscribe right now because next video I'm showing you how to escape each level. If you watched my 7 levels of Muslim video, you know I don't sugarcoat anything. Let's go. Level 1, the innocent glance. You're scrolling Instagram at 2 a.m. A suggested post appears, someone attractive. You know you should swipe past it. The Prophet said lower your gaze, but you don't swipe. You stop, you look, then you tap their profile. Then you scroll through their posts. 1 hour disappears. Or you're walking through campus. Someone passes by. Your eyes follow them longer than they should. You turn your head, you stare, just for a few seconds. But those seconds plant something in your brain. Here's what just happened. Your brain released dopamine, the pleasure chemical, the moment you looked. Your brain doesn't care about halal or haram. It just learned. Looking at attractive people equals instant pleasure. And now it wants more of that feeling. You just created a neural pathway. Look equals reward. This is how it starts. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said the first glance is forgiven but not the second. You think it's just looking. It feels harmless. You're not touching anyone. You're not talking to anyone. Just pixels on a screen. Just a person walking past. What's the big deal? The big deal is that innocent second look just opened a door. And Shaitan is really good at getting you to walk through doors you never planned to enter. You tell yourself it's nothing, but your brain is already craving the next hit. Welcome to level 1. This is where everyone's journey begins. But it doesn't stay here. It never stays here. Level 2, the seeking phase. Now it's not accidental anymore. You're not just stumbling across attractive content, you're hunting for it. You know exactly which accounts to check, which hashtags to search, which times of day the algorithm shows you what you want. Friday night, weekend, when you're bored, when you're stressed, you know exactly where to go for that dopamine fix. You're following models, influencers, fitness accounts. You tell yourself it's for motivation, for fashion ideas, for workout inspiration, but you know why you're really following them. You're spending 1, 2, sometimes 3 hours just scrolling, looking, consuming. Your brain wants more. Normal activities are starting to feel less exciting. Hanging out with friends feels boring compared to the instant hit you get from scrolling. Here's the science. Your brain's reward system is getting trained. Every time you seek and find that content, dopamine floods your system. Your brain is learning. When I feel bad, I can feel good instantly by looking at this stuff. It's becoming your go-to coping mechanism. Bad day at school? Scroll. Stressed about work? Scroll. Can't sleep? Scroll. You justify it to yourself. I'm not watching porn. I'm not doing anything physical. It's just Instagram. It's just TikTok. Everyone does this. But the Prophet said the eyes commit zina. But level 2 is just the beginning, because looking isn't enough anymore. Your brain wants more. And that's when you move to level 3. Level 3, the fantasy stage. You're not just looking anymore. You're creating entire movies in your mind. You see someone attractive online or in real life, and your brain doesn't stop at the visual anymore. It starts writing stories. You're imagining conversations, imagining scenarios, imagining relationships. Full detailed fantasies playing in your head before you fall asleep. During class, during work, during prayer. You're daydreaming about that classmate, that coworker, that person you saw at the mall, that influencer you follow. Your brain is living in an imaginary world that feels better than your real life. The fantasy becomes your escape from stress, from problems, from responsibilities, from reality itself. Here's what's happening in your brain. Your body is releasing oxytocin, the bonding hormone, during these fantasies. Your brain is forming emotional attachments to people who don't even know you exist, or to people you've never even had a real conversation with. You're falling in love with ideas of people, not actual people. The Islamic reality is brutal. The Prophet said, the eyes commit zina, the ears commit zina, the hands commit zina, and the heart commits zina. Your eyes committed zina at level 1. Now your heart is committing Zina at level 3. You're having emotional and mental affairs with people in your imagination. And you think because it's private and nobody knows, it doesn't count. It feels like it's not real sin because you're not actually doing anything. But fantasy is the bridge. It's the bridge from level 2 to level 4. Because eventually, fantasy isn't enough. Eventually, you want to make it real. Level 4, the obsession phase. Welcome to the tunnel vision stage. There's one person you cannot stop thinking about. And then you cross the line. You move from watching to interacting. You send that DM. You reply to that story. You start a conversation that seems innocent, just asking about homework, just commenting on their post, just saying hi. But you know it's not innocent. You know exactly what you're doing. Now you're texting, late night conversations, sharing personal stuff, inside jokes forming, emotional connection building. You're breaking every Islamic rule about male-female interaction, but you justify it. We're just friends. We're just talking. It's not physical, so it's not wrong. But your heart is already attached. You're already emotionally cheating on your future spouse with this person. Here's the brain science. Your brain's reward centers are lighting up exactly like they do with drugs. Dopamine, norepinephrine, all flooding your system. You're obsessed. You're falling for the idea of someone, not who they actually are. You're overlooking every red flag, ignoring every difference, creating a fantasy version of them in your mind and falling in love with that fantasy. The Prophet forbade 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗵𝗷, being alone with the opposite gender. You think that's just physical, but you're in digital 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 right now, alone in your room at 2 a.m. having intimate conversations with someone you're not married to. Every text is building towards something haram. Every voice note is creating emotional dependency. Every video call is crossing boundaries you know you shouldn't cross. It always moves to level 5. Level 5, the relationship trap. You're in a full haram relationship now. Maybe you call it talking. Maybe you call it getting to know each other. Maybe you tell yourself you're going to get married eventually, so this is fine. But you know what it really is? It's dating. It's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship that you're calling by a different name to make yourself feel better. You're meeting in secret, lying to your parents about where you're going, creating alibis, living a double life. At home, you're the good Muslim child. Outside, you're someone completely different. The lying is becoming natural, the deception is becoming easy, and the physical boundaries are starting to break. It started with just talking, then it was holding hands, then it was more. And every time you cross a line, you promise yourself that's the last line. But there's always another line, and you keep crossing them. Because once you start, stopping becomes almost impossible. Here's the science behind why you can't stop. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, releases during any physical contact. Your brain is forming a bond with this person. It feels like real love. It feels like this is the one. But it's just chemistry. It's just hormones creating an artificial attachment. And when this relationship ends, and most haram relationships do end, the breakup will feel like someone ripped your heart out because your brain created real chemical bonds that are now being torn apart. The Islamic damage at this level is massive. You're committing a major sin, or very close to it. You're approaching Zina. And Allah didn't say don't commit Zina. He said don't even approach it, because approaching always leads to falling. You're destroying your future marriage before it even begins. You're creating trauma that will follow you. You're building comparison issues that will haunt you. And the worst part, you're so far from Allah now that you can barely feel Him anymore. Prayer is just movements. Quran is just sounds. Your heart is so attached to this haram relationship that there's no room left for Allah. But some people don't stay at level 5. Some discover level 6, and that's when everything gets exponentially worse. Level 6, the addiction level. Maybe you discovered this before level 5. Maybe you discovered it after. But once you're here, everything changes. I'm talking about pornography. You found it out of curiosity. Maybe a friend sent you something. Maybe you stumbled across it. Maybe you went looking for it. But once you saw it, your brain changed forever. Here's the brutal science. Pornography is one of the most addictive substances on Earth. Right after hard drugs, it releases dopamine levels higher than anything natural. It's literally rewiring your neural pathways. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes decisions and controls impulses, it's getting weaker. Your limbic system, the part that controls urges and cravings, it's getting stronger. Your brain structure is physically changing. You've tried to quit dozens of times. You've deleted everything. You've made sincere tawbah to Allah crying in sujood. You've promised this is the last time, but 2 days later you're back. The cycle is endless. Watch, feel disgusted with yourself, delete history, promise never again. Feel good for a couple days. Then the urge comes back stronger. And you watch again. The shame is crushing you, but the addiction is stronger than the shame. You're watching in risky situations now. At work, in the bathroom, in public, on your phone. The compulsion is stronger than common sense. You're not enjoying it anymore. You're just feeding a beast that's never satisfied. You hate what you've become, but you genuinely don't know how to stop. You feel like a prisoner, and you are. You're in level 6. You're a slave, but there's one more level, and it's the darkest one. Level 7, the complete slave. This is rock bottom. Your entire life revolves around lust. You've crossed into physical Zina. Maybe it's multiple partners. Maybe it's one long-term haram relationship with full physical intimacy. Maybe you're using dating apps. Maybe you're in hookup culture. But sex outside marriage has become part of your identity now. All boundaries are destroyed. All shame is gone. You're not even pretending to be religious anymore. You might still be Muslim by name. You might still show up to family gatherings. But inside, you know you've left Islam in everything but name. Your heart is completely sealed. You can't remember the last time you felt genuine connection with Allah. And your future is destroyed. Your chance at a pure marriage is gone. Even if you marry someone good, the trauma from this level will haunt your marriage. The comparison issues will poison your relationship. The secrets will build walls between you and your spouse. You'll spend years trying to heal from the damage you're doing to yourself right now. You started with one look on Instagram. You ended here. Complete slavery to lust. The Quran warned you. Do not approach Zina. Allah didn't say don't commit it. He said don't even approach it. Because approaching always leads to falling. You approached at level 1, you fell at level 7. So which level are you really at right now? Be honest with yourself, even if you don't want to admit it out loud.